The benefits of buying land rent to own. It's a lot of benefits, a lot of benefits. Okay. Um, what should I do first? Um, okay, yeah, let me do the benefits first. Number one, you have the opportunity to exchange your land, your property for another piece of land or another piece of property. Okay? You have the opportunity to exchange your land for another piece of land or another opportunity without penalty. So, if you purchase a piece of land from one of the sellers that I deal with, or usually any of the sellers that deal in rent to own land, they tell you if at any point during the promissory note contract you see another property on their website that you want to exchange the current property you have for, you can do so without penalty. They will just cancel the current promissory note contract and write up a new one and transfer all the funds, give you credit for all the funds that you've paid in. Okay, they'll give you credit for all the funds that you have paid in. All right. This is a great benefit, people, because if you buy owner financing and you're on the and you're just buying, well, if you buy owner financing and usually you have to put down a large down payment, 20%, 50%. Okay. um they're not so inclined, if they have other properties, to exchange you to another property. They're not so inclined. Okay, because they already have um most of your money or a good portion of your money. It's a headache for them to have to go redo the whole deed. um it's just not, a happy thing for them to do. Okay, since you're already on the deed. But when you're doing rent to own, you have less liability. Number one, the liability is really not there because you're renting. Okay, but you still have ownership of the property. It's almost like an automatic trust. um it's almost like you're in an automatic trust situation, like a trust document situation, now that I just think about it, because you have ownership of the property, meaning you have control. When I use the word ownership, I mean you have control of the property, you have control of the paperwork. The seller cannot sell the property to anybody else. Um, you could Another benefit is um, you can go out there. Usually, you can go out there on a property and start living there immediately. Immediately, okay? Just like you would rent a house, you could move into your house immediately, okay? And I was thinking this is not really a benefit, but it actually is. Um, you know, Again, you're doing rent to own, so usually the sellers ask that you not do anything permanent to the property, like build a house or have anything out there that's permanent, usually. But a lot of times they welcome it, like you can. They don't care because you know 9 times out of 10 whatever you're doing is going to improve the property. It's going to improve the property, but you just have to be clear and specific as to what you're doing. And if they do allow you to do stuff, they're probably going to tell you, hey, as long as the county and the city allows it, I'm good, and as long as you keep the place clean, I'm good, right? So I was like, before I was saying, hey, you cannot do anything without the seller's approval. When you're doing rent to own, you still have to have their approval. um and and usually they don't allow you to have anything permanent. But that's a benefit. That's a benefit because you may buy a piece of land, a piece of property. We may have put hard work into finding you that land, that property, but you could change your mind. You might change your mind. You might not like your neighbors. You might not like your neighbors at all. You may meet somebody new in your life, have a new boyfriend, girlfriend, or you may need to move somewhere else closer to friends, family. You may change your mind and want to move. Okay? And it's not in your budget to have two properties, or you don't want two properties. You just want the one property, right? Well, when you do rent to own, you can easily do that. You just go back on a website, let the seller know, hey, I see this other property you have here. I want to switch it out, and I'm gonna move everything off this property and bring it to the new property. And you know, could you go ahead and start the paperwork? Okay, so it's actually a good thing, if especially if you're new in the business, if you're new to buying land, it's actually a good thing that most times they won't allow you to put anything permanent because you don't know for sure that you're gonna be there for a while. You know what I'm saying? If this is your first experience and everything like that, and you're learning, especially if you're single or you're in transition as far as work, relationship, or anything like that, and you're just looking for something for now, you know, or even if you're in just investing in land, and you may say, okay, I'm gonna buy this land in Florida, and I'm good. But hey, you may say, man, the real estate going up higher and higher in New Mexico or Arizona or whatever. Let me switch it out for a property out there. Okay, and you could do that. All right. So no matter what the reason why you want to switch out your property, you could do that, and you could do it without having to worry about, well, I just did this permanent thing to this property and I'm going to lose money on that and blah blah blah. Until you pay off your property. Until you pay off your property, even if you're doing owner financing, it's actually a good thing not to put anything permanent. It's actually a good thing. It's actually a good thing that they don't allow you a lot of times to put anything permanent. You think they say that out of spite, but it's actually to your benefit. It's actually to your benefit. Okay, it's kind of like, your parents when you're younger, they say, no, you can't put any tattoos on your body. When you get older, you do whatever you want, because tattoos are pretty much permanent, you know, for the most part. You could have them removed, but you got to go through surgery or whatever to do that. All right. Another great benefit to buying rent to own, the down payment is really low, really, really low. Okay. It's usually less than $1,000, less than $1,000. You can find a lot of them still for zero down, $1 down, $50 down. All right. Um, when you doing owner financing, they want 20% to 50% down. Okay. Let me see another great benefit. It's just I'm sitting here thinking, I was like, you know what? No wonder the spirit is really um pushing me to give people this information. No wonder the spirit is really on me about this rent to own thing and trying to get the information out there to people, because this is the greatest wealth transfer we will ever see in our time. This is your opportunity to transfer wealth into your estate. This is your opportunity to have wealth. Okay? You think this is when they say great wealth transfer, the wealth is transferring all the way up to the super rich? No. We also, common people, also have the opportunity to transfer wealth. That's really what it's about. You that never had the opportunity before, now you have the opportunity. That's another great benefit to rent to own. If your credit is bad, if you have judgments, liens, if you just got out of prison, No matter what has been going on with you, if you have the funds, you have $0 to $50. If you can afford in your budget $50 a month or $300 a month, you can have land, people. You could have land and now have a legacy and now have something to pass on to your offsprings. I'm gonna say this last thing and I'm gonna get off of here. They can manipulate anything, they can reproduce anything, they can rebuild anything. What's the one thing cannot be rebuilt? They cannot build more of, they cannot make more of. They can make more gold, they can make more silver, they can keep making more cryptocurrencies. Every day there's 10, 20 different new cryptocurrencies added to the exchanges. Everybody can have their own cryptocurrency, their own ETFs. Okay, they can make new commodities, they can make new everything. The only thing they cannot make is land. They cannot make land, and this is your opportunity to have the one thing they cannot make. They cannot make it. And I show you how to put your property in a trust, so even after you pay off the property, you still protected. Nobody knows you own it. Nobody. Only you and your beneficiaries, only you and the people that you want to know knows you own it. As if you're living on a property, you say, "Hey, I'm just a trustee. I'm just living here." Only a judge can force the trustee to say who the actual owner is. And I'll teach you all about trust and all of that stuff. When you sign up for my consultation, it's $250, and I help you through the whole process, whether it takes a day or a year. I help you through the whole process, and help you figure out exactly what you want to do, where you want to buy. um I show you how to the questions to ask, who to ask, um um to make sure in your promissory note all the information is there, all that good stuff. I introduce you to sellers that I've been dealing with for years now, trusted sellers and all that good stuff. And believe me, there's some people out here selling land rent to own you do not want to deal with. You do not want to deal with. I probably need to do a video about that. Some of these sellers selling property rent to own you do not want to deal with. Okay, they do not return your phone calls. They do not return your text messages. Trying to get in contact with them is like pulling teeth. You know what I mean? So there's some sellers out here rent to own you do not want to deal with. So I've weeded them out. I've weeded them out for the most part. And I got a good list of sellers, okay, um that I deal with, and I've become good friends with and everything like that. So anyhow, my phone number is 754-229-0940, 754-229-0940. I want to give a big shout out to Brother Rich over there at Black Magic 363. Um, I went on the channel and said a couple words, and he allowed me to say it, and hopefully get back in contact with me soon so we could do a live. And I've had a great response, a really great response. Shout out to all the people that came over to my channel and inquired and wanted to know more information. I praise you guys for making the effort and for taking the initiative to have some of that wealth from the great wealth transferred to you, and you're on your way by just being in contact with me, staying in contact with me by just watching my channel. You're on your way to owning land. You're on your way to being a part of the great wealth transfer. I don't care if you own a quarter acre in New Mexico, right? Which you could buy right now probably for like $1,200 or $5,000, right? That land that you buy for $1,000, $5,000, believe me, when we really transfer, when everything really get transferred, that land is gonna be worth anywhere from probably 20,000 to 50,000. Believe me. Anywhere up in there, you're gonna double, triple, quadruple, 10x your investment. You buy it for 1,000. Trust me, when everything happens, you'll be sitting on about $10,000. Okay, and then you keep sitting on that land. Even myself, I didn't buy New Mexico before, but now I'm gonna start buying it in New Mexico, because one of the good things about New Mexico is you could pretty much do whatever you want out there. You could pretty much do whatever you want out there. Um, Arizona's cheap also, but you can't do exactly whatever you want everywhere. They only allow one dwelling per 4 acres. You know, every state, every county has its pros and cons. Okay. But anyhow, I have a lot of information on a lot of states and stuff, and whatever information I don't have, we ask the questions. Again, I'll hold your hand through the whole process. It's me and you through the whole process together. And sometimes we'll do it as a group. Sometimes we'll do it as a group, and we'll all be in there sharing information and stuff like that. But anyhow, um it's many great benefits to buying rent to own. Many great benefits. Okay, it gives you time to do your due diligence. Okay, you don't have to rush 30 days, lose your hair, trying to do your due diligence. You could just reserve the property right there, start making payments, do your due diligence at your own leisure, and not even worried about it. If we call a county, the city, and find out something one day we don't like, we just call back the seller and say, hey, the city, the county, the state says I cannot do this, and this is what I really want to do. Can you exchange this property for another property over here that I saw on your website? And they'll gladly do it. Okay. So and there's more benefits. I probably can't think of anything right now. As y'all know, I just wing it. I wing everything. I need to get a little bit more organized, but I'm so busy with a lot of things. I'm just really trying to get this information out there to people, because a lot of people are scared to buy land, intimidated to buy land. Um, they don't know what they're buying. They don't know if they're buying wetlands. A lot of people be like, "Oh, you're gonna buy some wetlands," blah blah blah, all that foolishness. Listen, if you follow my instructions, if you work with me, I could show you how to simply go on a website, look up flood zones, see where it gets flooded at, um, look up the history of the property, talk to neighbors. All that stuff will tell you so much about the properties that you interested in. And even if you do buy wetlands, I can tell you how to make it buildable. Okay, how to make it buildable. Disney World is built on wetlands, nothing but wetlands. Disney World, and Disney World is, you see what Disney World is. Okay. People talk about it's $1 billion company. Disney World is $1 trillion, trillions of dollars company, going way back to the 80s, 70s, whatever. Okay. The capital, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, where the capital is, that's built on wetlands. Okay. Look it up. It's common knowledge. Google it. They're built on wetlands. You can build on wetlands. So even if you buy wetlands, you're like, man, it's a perfect property. I want it, but I found out it's wetlands. You could still build on it. You can still build on it. You just have to know how to French drain it and pile it up with sand and compact the sand and all that kind of stuff. All right. So anyhow, let me share my knowledge and wisdom with you, that I've accumulated over the years, and all that good stuff. All right. Talk to y'all later. Peace.